John Maxwell describes a leader as one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And according to Albert Einstein, a leader is one who out of clutter brings simplicity, out of discord, harmony, and out of difficulty, opportunity. These leadership qualities best describe the Director General of NAPTIP, Dame Okah Donli, who is leaving no stone unturned to ensure that human trafficking, violence against persons, and child abuse is eradicated from Nigeria. This is NAPTIP on the Move, and I am Emmanuel Okeke, very glad to have you join us. Just a year ago, Dame Okah Donli assumed office as the Director General of NAPTIP. What has she been up to? How has the agency fared under her leadership? You will get to find out if you stay with NAPTIP on the Move.
Established in 2003 with a mandate to combat human trafficking and just recently, violence against persons, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has been at the forefront of enforcement and prosecution of human traffickers. The appointment of Dame Okah Donli as the Director General of NAPTIP a year ago marked a new dawn in the agency. Her dynamic, focused and sterling leadership qualities informed positive change and enhanced the fight against human trafficking. According to Dame Okah Donli, the fight against human trafficking should involve everyone, including government, corporate organizations, organized private sector, and all of society. This realization informed massive public enlightenment, including the print, electronic media, and grassroots sensitization campaigns. She then paid courtesy calls to media organizations, granted television interviews. To ensure that NAPTIP messages stay in the news, she created a 30-minute television program, NAPTIP on the Move, commissioned television and radio jingles, and enhanced the agency's presence on social media platforms, engaging social media micro-influencers, all in a bid to create the much-needed awareness on the ills of human trafficking and to discourage Nigerians from becoming victims of human trafficking, which could lead to organ harvesting, sexual exploitation, and slavery.
The coming of Dame Okah Donli as Director General of NAPTIP April last year brought a lot of new vibes to the activities of the agency. It brought new life, new motivation to the staff. There's a lot of motivation for the anti-human trafficking community to say, yes, this person is ready to work. She's not just there to give the directive, she is also there to enter the battlefield with those who are in there. The issue of mobilization of all strata of society has been rekindled because she embarked on a massive sensitization of the entire country, and she's always at the forefront. Every Thursday you see us wearing this t-shirt, trying to create awareness in various places, and what that shows is that we are set to go, and many people outside of the agency are fighting alongside the agency and creating this awareness. Our people are going everywhere. In the media, they are there. Every day there are lots of reports coming from the activities of the agency.
Recognizing that most victims of human trafficking are majorly uninformed and illiterate persons from rural communities, Dame Julie Okah Donli paid courtesy calls to state governors and traditional rulers to solicit their support in the fight against human trafficking. The most remarkable advocacy visit was to the Oba of Benin, Omonoba Nedo Uku Akpolokpolo Oba Ewuare II, who summoned Juju priests in Benin Kingdom and warned them to desist from administering the oath of secrecy on victims, and also placed a curse on human traffickers. This singular event is indeed an achievement that has turned the tide against human trafficking, as most of the victims and traffickers are from Edo State. Apart from the traditional institutions, Dame Julie Okah Donli paid courtesy calls and advocacy visits to relevant government agencies, the National Assembly, organized private sector and embassies to strengthen collaboration.
Before now, we relied so much on funding from government. So she came and said, look, government alone cannot do this. And what has she done? She has gone out, spread her tentacles to meet with the public sector and corporate Nigeria to say, I have a challenge. Please, this challenge is not just for me, it's about the Nigerian project. Let us ride on these boats to free the Nigerian people from this menace called human trafficking. And we have seen a lot of things, a lot of support coming from various places.
The collaboration with embassies yielded fruitful results with the joint operation of NAPTIP and British officials at the Heathrow and Gatwick airports in the United Kingdom as well as Spain. These operations informed the arrest of a notorious Nigerian human trafficker in the UK. This is the first time the agency would embark on such a joint operation to identify and profile victims and suspects at the airports in a foreign country. This is a great feat indeed.
Nigeria signed up last year at the UN General Assembly to the Call for Action, which seeks to put an end to modern slavery and human trafficking by 2030. So we're committed to working with Nigeria to try to realise that aim. And NAPTIP, obviously in Nigeria, is one of the lead agencies with whom we work in order to address that agenda. So collaboration with NAPTIP has been going on for a long time, I'm pleased to say. For example, recently we have been supporting the Joint Border Task Force, JBTF, which is a unit of NAPTIP officers, prosecutors and investigators who are mentored by UK agents from the National Crime Agency, from Immigration Enforcement International and from the Crown Prosecution Service. Over the last year, for example, the Joint Border Task Force, working alongside UK officers, members of staff, have safeguarded 300 victims of trafficking. In the last month alone, they have prosecuted 89 traffickers. Also last month, the Joint Border Task Force arrested and charged the head of an organised crime gang who had been running a baby factory. So they're really significant results that we're getting. We're really pleased with how it's going. DG NAPTIP has also sent NAPTIP officers to the UK, to Gatwick and to Heathrow airports, to work alongside their counterparts there in the UK Border Force, which again is another example of how we can help to improve the effectiveness of NAPTIP.
In order to ensure quick and covert reporting of human trafficking cases, Dame Julie Okah Donli got the federal government to extend the whistleblowing policy to NAPTIP operations.
One of the things she fought at that time when she came was to ensure that the whistleblowing policy was also extended to the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. The day she said it, people were like, how is she going to do it? Where do you have the money to be able to pay to the whistleblowers? But she got it from the federal government. And since then, a lot of reports, a lot of whistles are being blown, and a lot of arrests are being made, and a lot of convictions are also being made.
Her dream to ensure a well-trained, efficient and effective workforce is the reason for continuous training of all personnel of NAPTIP, including drivers, to ensure the fight against human trafficking is won. She is also set to establish a regional training center.
To emphasize on training, because there's nothing like training. Nobody was going anywhere. Like the workshop we just concluded right now from Calabar, it was very laudable. Everybody was happy about what was going. And also, we have refresher training for my drivers. I will call them my drivers. Why? Because they are under me as an admin director. So my drivers were really very happy about it. They have been talking about this training since when I've been here, but no, there was no opportunity for them. But they went for this training and they were very happy, and I believe they are going to have more training and more training than ever.
We are very engaged in combating human trafficking, and that's why the German embassy is very much interested and engaged in cooperating with NAPTIP at the Apex agency, at the Apex Nigerian agency, to fight trafficking in humans, prostitution and forced labor. So there's a whole range of activities. Of course, a major part is technical assistance. We are providing hardware equipment for the forensic, NAPTIP forensic work. But there's also training units, mostly here in Nigeria. I mean, conducted by the experts of our Federal Criminal Office, coming to Nigeria and, working together with NAPTIP operatives in, various fields, to, partly very, I would say, specifically, for instance, on, detecting document forgery and so on and so forth. But there are also delegation travels to Germany. There have been scholarships at on the Federal Criminal Court, a scholarship program for NAPTIP operatives.
To ensure a more conducive working environment so as to enhance productivity, the current administration embarked on the renovation of the agency's facilities, starting with the headquarters in Abuja, and also replacement of the operational vehicles, as the former vehicles were as old as the agency.
There are a lot of things that she really introduced to this agency, and also she has done a lot of physical activities that as you enter this place, you see the renovation of the building. Everybody will definitely see that, yes, things are happening here. Also, she purchased operational vehicles and donations from the non-governmental organizations. Some agencies also donated hillocks, and all these things were done during when she was here. He donated hillocks, and the agency are using it. They distributed to some departments and also the commands that are all over the country.
One of the most effective operations of the agency within her 1 year in office is the agency's involvement in the repatriation of trafficked victims from Libya. Dame Julie Okah Donli's goal to expand the operations of the agency informed the establishment of an additional zonal command in Oshogbo, Osun State, to curb human trafficking to Côte d'Ivoire. She also established the Reforms Unit and the Rapid Response Unit.
NAPTIP Rapid Response Squad and RRS and the Reforms Unit. It was established by the Director General, Dame Julie Okah Donli, as part of her repositioning agenda for the agency. And under the Reforms Unit, we have like other sub-units. We have Act 2, which is the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Monitoring Unit. We have a Servicom unit, we have Gender unit, and recently too, we have the Disability unit. Part of the roles we play is to ensure, because human trafficking is a big business. Currently is the third most lucrative crime in the whole world. And you can't have such a business without having very rich criminals who are involved in it. And the temptation is always there for them to probably either interfere in one way or the other when the investigation is going on where the cases are being prosecuted. Even for the victims too, who are at our various closed shelters, you can't rule out the possibility too of those criminals trying to probably break through and see how they can influence them in order not to testify against them. So part of the checks we've put in place is to ensure that our officers always know that they are being monitored, so that there is no way any of those big criminals can get them compromised, either by bribing them or by inducing them with gifts or whatever manner of influence that they feel they can have on them. So with Act 2 in place, and the staff, they know that we are very, very efficient and active. So nobody will want to probably get involved and then become punished for such, because we will definitely know, since we have our informants here and there. You know, we have the investigation department, but the main reason why the Rapid Response Squad, which is made up of seasoned lawyers, then we have people too from the investigation department, then we have from the intelligence unit of the agencies, was set up is to handle urgent, special and sensitive cases to ensure that there is always a very quick intervention or response when some of these cases are reported, and then downplay the bureaucracy, the issue of minuting files from one department or unit to the other. You see, because of the assemblage that the squad is made up of, most of the decisions could be quickly taken and action taken in a very quick manner.
With just 1 year in office under her leadership, the agency has so far rescued and empowered over 2,000 victims and secured 25 convictions, bringing to a total of about 13,000 rescued victims and 342 convictions. Commenting on her style of leadership, some directors of the agency speak on her achievements.
Our performance for this 1 year is wonderful. She has done very, very well, and she's on track. One good thing with her, she's a team player, a team leader who listens to other subordinate staff for their suggestions, their advice and contributions in line with her open door policy. During the 2018 budget defense before the Committee on Human Rights, the chairman, Right Honorable Pajok, commended the DG on Jan's stride and tireless efforts in repositioning the agency and bringing the agency to the limelight, and to have achieved a lot within this short period of assumption of office, and requested other agencies under their oversight to emulate DG NAPTIP.
Her style of leadership is commendable anywhere you have seen. The first day I saw her when she came to this agency on the 18th of April 2017, I saw the zeal in her. She has taken it as a passion on her own, and there are a lot of things that she really introduced to this agency. So I'm proud of her. People have been asking me outside, who is this DG? This and this, anywhere I happen to be. NAPTIP, 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 NAPTIP. I say, NAPTIP, now you are on the air. I say, yes, because we have got to somebody that has taken it up.
The international community also commend her passion and proactiveness.
I first met the current DG not long after she'd taken up position. I was really impressed, particularly by one point. We talked about funding for the agency, and she said she wasn't going to sit back and wait for the funds to come through from the federal government. She was going to go out and find it, and she was going to push on with activity that they could do with very little money. So that really demonstrated to me her commitment to getting things done, and that's what has shown to be the case in the time that she's been in office. I think the increased profile for NAPTIP, the excellent collaboration that we're seeing between NAPTIP and the UK is thanks to her, so I think she's doing very well. Without
any doubt, Dame Julie has brought, I would say, breath into a new impetus and innovative spirit to NAPTIP, and there is, I would say, a new sense of purpose, more than it has been before, and I commend her for having a tight ship running and being very open for, you know, her international partners. So we have a very constructive and very intensive relationship to her and through her to NAPTIP as a whole. She is a very good communicator, which is, I think, of utmost importance, because, I mean, you have to spell the gospel, you have to spell the message. That is one of the, I think, main tasks of NAPTIP, of, you know, the dangers and pitfalls and perils, and not least the reprehensibility of human trafficking, and that I think she's doing in quite a remarkable manner, and we have to give credit to her for that.
The agency has also strengthened its collaboration with non-governmental organizations.
The relationship between NAPTIP and WorkLab is cordial. The relationship between WorkLab and NAPTIP, it is profitable in the sense that we are victim-centered. First of all, NAPTIP confers status on traffic victims. So from the reception to reintegration, NAPTIP and WorkLab work together. Recently, WorkLab was invited to make a presentation at the West African Attorney General Conference. It was an eye-opening one. Other countries, other people present, they got to see what we're doing in Nigeria. Because most African countries, they don't have what we call NAPTIP. NAPTIP is an example to African countries. We also went to Calabar with NAPTIP for the protocol on safe return, rehabilitation and reintegration. I appreciate Barrister Okah Donli. She's somebody who we have been asking the question, where did she come? Where has she been all this while? Where did she come out from? She's a smart woman, she's presentable, she's brilliant, and she doesn't mind whose ox is God. She's not afraid, she's daring, she's a go-getter. For me, NAPTIP and WorkLab will always be there together, mother, child. I want to use this medium to congratulate the DG of NAPTIP, Barrister Okah Donli, on her 1 year in office. I say thumbs up for her. I pray that NAPTIP will keep on going to places everywhere they know that NAPTIP is a one-stop shop. Congratulations, ma'am.
As a testament of her unrelenting hard work, Dame Okah Donli has been honored with several awards. All these achievements in just 1 year is indeed an evidence that Dame Okah Donli is resolute and determined to eradicate the scourge of human trafficking from Nigeria.
Human trafficking, popularly known as modern-day slavery, is very much with us, even in this 21st century. It is a crime against God and humanity. You may be thinking, this message is not for me. Think again, because if you are paying your employee through an agent, you are a trafficker. If you employ a child under 12 years as a domestic worker, you are a trafficker. If you abduct a person against their will, keep and exploit them for monetary gains, you are a trafficker. If you promise international jobs with the intention to exploit the victims sexually and for cheap labor, you are a trafficker. If you buy and sell human organs, you are a trafficker. There are so many components of trafficking with devastating effects on the victims. This victim may be your daughter, son, brother, sister, mother, or father. Let us be our brother's keeper. Join hands with NAPTIP to stop human trafficking now.
Report cases of human trafficking to these NAPTIP hotlines: 0703 00 203, 080 02 255 627847. NAPTIP, empowered to protect you.
For more enquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotlines on 0703 00 203 or 0800 2255 627847 or email info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria and watch our videos on YouTube.
A lot has changed in NAPTIP in just 1 year. We could go on, but time will not permit. This implies that a position is only as strong as the person holding it. Dame Okah Donli isn't only a round peg in a round hole, she's also stood firm in the interests of the nation and is indeed a pride to women everywhere. We must commend His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, for this fitting appointment. As we draw the curtain on today's episode, I must remind you to report cases of human trafficking, domestic violence, and child abuse to NAPTIP. You may just be saving a life. Hope to see you next week. I am Emmanuel Okeke. Goodbye.